We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we are looking at One World Under Doom, Issue 1. It's a 2025 book from Marvel Comics, written by Ryan North, art by R.B. Silva, colors by David Curiel, letters by VC's Travis Lanham, cover by Ben Harvey. Assistant editor was Martin Biro, associate editor Annalise Bissa, edited by Tom Brevoort. That cover is really cool. Really well done. Got me to buy the book, even though this was $6, which is generally speaking a giant ripoff for any new comic book. So apparently Dr. Doom has come out and declared that he is ruler over the world, and every other country has apparently bent the knee, and these events happened as a mostly bloodless coup, with all the leaders of the world declaring allegiance to Doom, and any factions that were planning to go against him have been eliminated. So then we cut over to the Baxter Building, where the Fantastic Four, several Avengers, and a handful of assorted other people, including, for some reason, Squirrel Girl, are hanging out trying to figure out what to do. So they find out that Baron Zemo and Hydra are making a move on Latveria. They were able to get through the shielding around Latveria and storm Doom's castle. Black Widow was in the area and she tried to get in too, but it didn't quite work out for her. And then suddenly Doom broadcasts with Zemo, and Zemo is pledging allegiance to Doom, saying that he was mistaken about Doom's intentions, and Doom's promise of free education, free basic health care, etc., are all on the up and up, and there's no ulterior motive. The heroes, of course, do not believe this, and they figure out where Hydra's floating island is and assault that, while the others try and get through the dome. So Captain America, Falcon, Storm, Miss Marvel, Black Widow, Iron Man, and a few others try and fight the good fight at the Hydra HQ, where they quickly figure out that a Doom bot replaced Zemo, so I guess that's something that happened. The Hydra agents that were helping Doom because of this peace accord now turn on them. They're quickly killed by Dr. Doom riding a giant T-Rex, because we have to have something cutesy in here. It's gotta be a little bit goofy and silly. Can't be too serious. Overall, I'd have to say this is probably Ryan North's best work, but still pretty mediocre. A lot happens in the book, but there is a whole lot of talking to get to the point, and a couple of scenes probably could have been tightened up a little bit. I am glad that they were a lot more concise than they usually are for Marvel, where there's not a lot of standing around drinking coffee. We actually had action in here. It just wasn't particularly exciting. And the inclusion of Squirrel Girl and someone named Brain Drain, who I'm not familiar with, seemed rather pointless, and the heroes seemed to be kind of chasing their own tails. They weren't acting particularly intelligently, they were just responding. Their first idea was to go attack Doom's castle, really? It seems a bit half-hearted and not very intelligent. But this wasn't particularly inspiring for me to open my wallet for more books, especially at a price point like $6. So I'm gonna say, if you want to read this, wait and get it in trade paperback for a lot cheaper, or buy it out of a discount bin. The cover sold me on it, and it looked like there was a lot of action, which there was. It just really didn't feel like it had a strong direction, and there was a lot of word bubbles. So I'm gonna say this really wasn't worth the cover price. If it had been the price of a regular issue, maybe, then I would recommend it, but otherwise I'd say half price is about the best I would go for on this one. So if you find it for $3 or less, then pick it up, but it really just didn't do anything for me. It just felt like it was ground that had already been covered a dozen times, and it was half-hearted at that. So recycled storyline with a lot of talking, and what felt like a lot of pointless running around really just didn't work for me. The main art wasn't bad. There were a few panels I thought were kind of crap, but overall the art was okay. There were times the combat was a little confusing because it's just a little bit ill-defined occasionally. You're seeing a lot of things in shadows and stuff like that. So it was a little bit messy at times, but I've seen a lot worse. R.B. Silva's an okay artist, generally speaking, so I didn't have too much of a problem with that. It was just the other points with the story that it really didn't do it for me. But that's going to do it for this episode. Thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. If you enjoyed the episode, please hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss future reviews. If you'd like to help the channel out in other ways, links are in the description to various support methods. And as always, we hope to see you on the next one.